You smell exquisite. This is the beginning, and I'm filming it while having breakfast. And I am here to do two things. First, to argue with what the woman said, and secondly, to fulfill my punishment. Here it is. Why does that song even exist? For those of you who don't know, because I didn't upload a video last Monday, my punishment is to play this hellish song in my video. Moving on. Woman, I partly disagree with what you said about recycling. In your last video you mentioned you had a phone conversation with a friend, which by the way was me, and that I said recycling was stupid. Your argument was then that no, recycling was not stupid, but rather when people thought that recycling was enough. So the problem was the actual people and not recycling. It is then when I disagree. Now in order for me to explain my point, we must go back around 200 years to a man named Hegel. Now Hegel's view of an idea, in a nutshell, stated that you couldn't just see an idea in an abstract way. You had to look at it considering its physical development and consequences. For example, capitalism in theory is perfect, capitalism in practice is not perfect, therefore capitalism in theory is not perfect either, because it didn't work in practicality. So when we put it in ecological terms, the idea of recycling is good. The consequences of recycling are not good. Therefore, the idea of recycling is not good either. So my argument here is, if recycling makes people think it's enough, therefore recycling is stupid, because it brings more detriment than help. I agree completely with what you said, that recycling makes people think that it's enough, and that's bad, because it isn't enough. It's quite the opposite. It's really nothing. But I disagree when you say that the problem is not recycling, but the problem is the people that think it's enough. Strictly speaking though, when you look at it in a Hegelian way, then the problem is recycling in itself. So we can then conclude that recycling is indeed quite stupid. Just think about it, people. When in the history of humankind has a big change been provoked by something that every single person does? Never. Mainly because in the history of humankind, never has everyone done something at the same time, and because big problems like these ecological problems that we're having need a big solution by a big organization, by a big leader. And we little mortals, when we're recycling, we don't do anything. We're just tricking and lying to ourselves, thinking, oh, I've done something for Mother Earth, when really you haven't done anything. So some might argue, well, if absolutely everyone in the world does, the billions of people out there in the world recycles, it could then be of some help. And that indeed might be true, I'm not saying it isn't. But by the time the 6,730,000,000 people in the entire world manage to recycle, it'll be too late. Because all this time people would not have thought of other solutions because they were busy recycling. And that's it for today. Woman, I will see you on Saturday. This is the end. Friend which was by